What is up, everybody? It's been way too long since I've danced to that song, Big Z. Far too long. Far too long.
I know, man. It's been too long. It got me up in the morning though. It got me up this morning for sure. Just now, like that hits different in the morning for sure.
Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take on
I
the
know.
day, Big
I
Z. Ready
know.
to take
I
on
know, man.
the day. We both have a long day ahead. So we like to let you know our lives and we like to give you updates. And we will do that because Big Z is like potty training extraordinaire. That's what he's going through.
Doing
I
it.
am living my entire life in a baseball field. So we will have an update on our next podcast, but we wanted to at least get one out
Yeah.
to you guys because it's been a couple weeks. And there's a lot to talk about. So we're going to jump right in today. We really hope that you keep listening. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for the YouTube follows and subscriptions. If you were following us on TikTok, some weird thing happened. Our TikTok went away. So
Yeah. It went somewhere in the internet
we
world.
tried. We tried. For those
We
of you
tried, but
who
you know
were
what? We're doing it. We're on the Instagram a lot more. We're on the
yes,
YouTube.
yes.
We're trying. Like
Right,
we're
we're
putting
posting
effort
like
out. So
multiple
there's
times a
there's
day.
content. There's content for you guys.
Yes,
So
yes.
I
So
know that's what you guys wanted. So we're getting it out there regardless. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's
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 do it,
let's let's talk. Let's talk sports.
dude.
Let's be
So
brevity.
I can't believe. For once, we're gonna have to be brevity. I cannot believe Trevor Lawrence, dude. Like, let's start right
I,
there. I mean, this is
I don't know,
crazy.
man. It's I mean, what was it? 275 million over 5 years,
275 for like,
200 million guaranteed,
oh my God.
and a $142 million signing bonus. Like, first off, sign me up for that. Just to sign my name and get over half the contract is like, here you go, fronted to him. But dude, I mean, I like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
don't think he's a bad quarterback by any
No,
means.
no.
But does this just scream classic Jacksonville Jaguars
I mean,
decision, or is it like, is there something there that we just haven't seen? Because he's been in the league what now 3 years, and he's had his moments, but there's hasn't been like this greatness about him. Like he's never really brought them anywhere close to the promised land. So
right.
I don't know, man.
He had one good year. I think his rookie year was his best year. I could be wrong, but regardless, it's sort of like the NFL is always, what have you done for me lately? Like there's
Yeah,
not sort of like this, he was pretty good. Dude, he's not top 10 in passing yards. He's not top 10, I don't believe, in yards per attempt. Right?
right.
No, he's not. He's not top 10 in yards per attempt. I'm looking for all these stats with him. I'm as I'm hearing this contract, I'm looking up all the information, all the information that we know would at least give us an idea of is he worth this money?
Yeah,
Man,
I,
I don't.
I don't know, man.
There's
Like
no way, dude. There's
it,
no way.
he is tied for the biggest contract by a QB with Joe Burrow.
And
Like, and the crazy thing, dude, Patrick Mahomes is number 9 on this
right,
list at $45 million a year. That is insane to me. Like when he signed that huge contract extension with the Chiefs like 3 years ago,
yeah,
we were all like way ahead of it. Like as the Chiefs were like, this is actually very smart for them because as all these other
hmm
quarterbacks start signing their extensions,
yeah,
like Patrick Mahomes, like it's gonna be a steal for the Chiefs. And
right,
he's probably like, man, like what did I do? I'm sure he knew what was going on, but like at
yeah,
least it signaled, you're our guy type of thing. We love you. Like we'll get something worked out soon. Like they took care of Travis Kelce. Like they're
right,
gonna take care of him. But it's just nuts, man. Like, and now it makes me think, as a Niner fan, if Jared Goff is getting 53 million a year, if Trevor Lawrence is getting 55 million a year, like what are you gonna have to give Brock Purdy?
yeah.
Like eventually, like
Yeah.
after next season, they're gonna have to extend him. And
He's done
we've
more
talked
than
about it.
he's done more than Trevor Lawrence already. So
Exactly. He's done more than Jared Goff already. So it's we'll see, man. It's interesting though.
but I would hope that Brock Purdy is smart enough, and he strikes. I'm not gonna lie to you. He strikes me as the kind of guy that's gonna get paid. Like he's gonna get a fair. I think he'll get a fair compensation for his money. I could see it somewhere in the ballpark of the 20 millions. I do see that. Um, but I don't think Brock is gonna be one of those guys like I need to be the highest paid
I don't think
quarterback in the
so.
NFL.
I don't
There's
think so.
nothing about him that suggests to me. I think Brock Purdy is a true blue football player, and that's what you and I like about him.
Right.
Is he's not about the flash, he's not
Yeah.
about the grits, he's about getting W's. And I feel like
Yeah. Exactly.
he is going to Patrick Mahomes the situation. He's going to say,
Yeah.
look, give me money that I can sign my boy Travis Kelce, because he knows, we just saw it last year.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter at all how good Travis Kelce does in the regular season. Come the Super Bowl, that dude is
Exactly.
unstoppable.
Yep.
Obviously, Greenlaw, very unfortunate. We've talked about that before. But
Right.
I see a Brock Purdy going that way, where it's like we're talking about Trevor Lawrence, who last year, in terms of touchdowns, I don't even think he was top 15, man. Like, I
No.
just don't, are we still paying this kid based on what he did out of Clemson? And I get it. There's a lot of people out there who say, well, boys, he is getting paid a lot more, but the cap keeps going up every year. So you're still giving him, dude, if I'm an owner, I'm like, I don't care if the cap's going up, man. You are not getting more than Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Like, I'm
You
not
got you
paying
got to
you
win
more
for me,
than,
man. Like you got
right.
to win. Like you're not even like you haven't taken me to the AFC Championship game. Like, come on. In
And
that
I mean,
division,
yeah,
and now look, you got CJ Stroud in that division. You got
yeah,
Anthony Richardson in that division.
yep,
Like now you got to really prove yourself. Like you had your
yeah,
chance. You had your moment before. Like there was no one else on par with you. Now you got teams up and coming. Like the Texans are already better than them.
right.
Like by far. It's like what
And CJ Stroud, by the way, I believe he's in the same camp as Brock Purdy. He is going to be paid. And I have no doubt he'll be one of the
oh
higher paid quarterbacks in the NFL. But I also could see him like working out that payment sort of a la Patrick Mahomes, where
oh
we
for
can
sure.
restructure new signing bonuses. Like, give me my money. Yeah, give me the bag. But
Because
like,
the Texans have done such a good job of building a great team around him. And they're like,
right,
look, man, like we can't do this if we pay you max. Like we'll give you good money, but like if we pay you that full salary, like we cannot build this great team around you. Like you're going to struggle more. And that's what exactly with like Brock Purdy, like we see, it's like, oh man, do I really want to let that go for the money? Or, like, do we want to keep winning, and
right,
have a chance at Super Bowl contention every year? So
100%.
man, it's mind
I
blowing on a Sunday
I
morning. I'm
I don't get it. I don't get it. Aaron Rodgers is going full send. Aaron Rodgers again, not showing up for mandatory OTAs with a brand new set of rookies. A team he played 4 downs with, I believe, last year, and
yeah,
apparently
I mean,
mandatory OTAs aren't.
I just think it's overblown, man. Like he was there for the voluntary OTAs before
That's
that,
good.
like 2 weeks earlier, like with
He's
the same
injured.
rookies. He claims that, and Robert Sala said that he had something that like some trip that already planned, like, and it wasn't excused, but he was like, whatever, if
Mm,
you go, like you'll get fined. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go, like I'm Aaron Rodgers. But he was there he didn't have to go to the other ones. Like it's probably like a makeup thing. I think it's overblown.
all right.
It,
You are giving every Jets fan peace about the situation, because
give him some peace, man. Like,
I think here's what I will say: if they come out and they lose against the Niners, I mean, they
oh,
get absolutely blown out against the Niners. Like, I heard an analyst saying like, oh, if they only go 1 for 3. I think if they come out and get their heads chopped off by the Niners, like it's over. Like I think people are going to turn very quick. Like if they come out and lay an egg, like they got to at least put down like 3 tutties. Even if they lose, they got to lose like 35-21, 35-28, like put up a battle
yeah.
against the Niners. And if they get blown out like 35-0 or something, dude, oh man, I think you're hard set. I think you're real hard set as a Jets fan,
I
especially as an
know,
Aaron
but it's
Rodgers
like,
guy.
what is 3 days in
Yeah,
June going to do for team chemistry?
I think
Like,
that's the argument for every NFL player who doesn't want to do OTAs. I think that's what
but
they
like,
are. Yeah.
but he was there the 3 days prior. That like a
Yeah.
lot of other veterans weren't there. Like
But
I don't know.
yeah, but
I,
have you
I
heard
can see both ways. I'm just trying to give Jets fans some hope.
have you heard like the Kelsey brothers talk about it? They're just like, dude, we get it, but also like, man, this sucks. They're
Yeah,
pretty their podcast hilarious, pretty good, pretty good. Moving right along, going over to what could be the greatest upset, or one of the great moments
one of
in
the great
Stanley
ones. Yeah,
Cup history. No team has ever come back from 0-3 in the Stanley Cup. So the Kings were able to do it back in 2014 against the Sharks. I know there was one other team, I believe, that was able to do it,
yeah, in the
but
playoff.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs, and the Kings, of course, were the most recent and my favorite, because this is my team. That's my team. That's my squad. When they did it, it
of
was like,
course.
whoa, that's wild. Come back 4 straight games, and I'll tell you what, man. 5-1. I know there was a goal disallowed. You were telling me about
Yeah,
before we started, jumping the podcast. We were talking about how that killed them. Like that killed
it
them.
really did. Like it was what 2-0 at that point. They
Yeah.
score the goal, and then they go to replay, and it's like offsides by like an inch. Like
Ugh.
it's I don't know. Like is that what replay is really intended for? Or is it just like
Yeah.
to fix egregious errors? Like at this point, it's like, come on, like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like the offsides review for
Yeah.
hockey. I was not a big I look. This is akin to me. I'm going to compare it to the sport that I also want that I do appreciate what instant replay has done, and I think quite honestly they've done the best job so far from what I've seen. Baseball has gotten this absolutely right. There's instant review
Yeah.
on certain things, but not
Yeah.
all the things. And even when they're talking about
Yeah.
reviewing pitches, they're talking about only strike three and only like once per game per player. And if you lose it, you lose it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, I absolutely appreciate. Things that are like, oh, this is. I mean, there's a hockey fan out there saying like, no, you guys are wrong. This is crazy. Like blah blah. See, offsides. If it's egregious, refs are going to get it. They call things offsides that aren't
Exactly.
offsides.
Exactly.
Like they are very aware of offsides. They
Yeah.
have two guys standing on the blue line, or at least one whenever somebody crosses through. I don't like it. I get it. To the letter of the law, it was not a goal. I don't like that instant
True.
replay was used in this moment to possibly change the series. I'm
But
with you on that.
not that they could, like, not saying that they would have won for sure if
No,
they
Oilers were
let
on
the goal
fire.
stand, but
Right.
like, it did help them get back into that game.
Right.
Because they cut the lead in half at that point, and then they have a little momentum back. Like at this point, like you're taking away any hope that they had. Like they're losing it, man. Like
Yeah.
period by period, you can tell their confidence is just being drained. And freaking Connor McDavid is just beasting his way through the Stanley Cup final. It's insane. And now Zach Hyman is scoring like he hadn't scored until up until last game. And now McDavid's getting all the other guys involved. And that's the scary thing for the Panthers.
The fact that they won 5-1 and Connor McDavid had no points. Yeah. And then for anybody listening to this, when we talk points, there's assists, there's goals, there's things you can do to get points. Okay. Yeah. He had no points in this game. And they absolutely mauled this Florida team. That's not to say that he's not the most valuable player. In fact, what he's done in this playoff run is historic. The only guys who have had better playoffs than he has is, of course, the chosen one, Wayne Gretzky and Patrick LeMahieu. So those are two of the gods of hockey. Those are two legends of hockey. Yeah. And before that, by the way, in their two previous wins to get them to that third win, Connor McDavid went full beast mode and had 4 points in each. It's 8 points in 2 games. There's guys who didn't have 8 points in an entire 7-game series.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like there's guys on teams who are like, man, if you could just get me 2 points per game, like if you get me a goal and assist, that's great for you, man. Connor McDavid, just his ability to just do what he wants with the puck. We've seen it before. And this seems to be his moment. I'm telling you right now, if he wins game 7, we already know he's the best player in hockey. If he does this and wins game 7, he is going to immediately enter the conversation of greatest of all time. That is what he's doing is historic right now.
100%. Here's a question. So if they lose game 7, do you still give him the MVP? Because he's obviously the best player on both teams and has been this whole series. He has been. He's proved it.
This is So this is the one instance I've always hated the notion. I think a couple of years ago when the Heat were playing the Lakers and Jimmy or something, like I forgot what it was, but I know there's been other moments where it's like, like when Tom Brady lost to the Eagles and he threw like 500 and some odd freaking yards, just went absolutely beast mode. I usually hate the conversation like, he still could have been MVP. This is the one instance where I'm like, dude, you got to give this guy the MVP.
Yeah.
Like, he is clearly the best guy.
For him.
It was
like, but
yeah, I don't know if he'd accept it, but
he's obviously the best player on the ice for both teams by far.
Yeah.
Like Matthew Tkachuk is the next, and like that's like a big.
There's a huge leap.
Big tier down there. I love Tkachuk, but yeah, man, it's crazy what McDavid's doing. Like he just makes it looks so seamless, and like it looks like a video game, man. Like a lot of guys say that all the time, but like it truly does. Like the things that he's able to do, like go between 3 defenders with the puck. I'm like,
this is the kind of guy
on skates. Like what? I don't know.
This is the kind of guy where you say once in a generational talent. Like this is the kind of guy that you do that for. Like the things he does, I've never seen. I've watched prime Ovechkin. I've watched prime Sidney Crosby. I've watched prime Luke Robitaille. Like I've watched prime dudes in hockey, like real dudes. Okay, I've watched Anjay in his prime. I've watched Doughty in his prime. I'm not putting those guys in those categories. I think Anjay during our playoff runs was one of the best players in hockey. I'll say that. But I'll tell you, I've never seen anyone do the things he does in the moments he does them. It's insane. And to your point, leading the playoffs right now, he has 42 points.
Wow.
42 points. The next guy to him is Evan Bouchard on his team
On his
with
team.
32 points. And then Draisaitl has 31. And then Hyman, who has 22. And all the way down at the bottom, you got Barkov with 22. He's the only Panther represented on the list, but it's exactly what you said. Connor McDavid has not only gotten himself going, and this is where the Panthers are in real trouble. He
Yeah.
has given the confidence back to his mates on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, look, you jump on daddy's back. And last game, they looked at him probably and they're like, dude, this guy, we need to help this guy on some level. Like, we need to get this guy some rest. We got to get this guy, right for game 7 because we're going to win this game. Don't worry, Captain. We got you.
Yep.
We're going to win this game. And game 7, dude, I mean, he already won the MVP. He could go 0 points again. He could goose it in game 7. He's already the
100%.
MVP for me. And I think for you, Big Z, I want to sit here and tell you the Panthers got a shot. I think if you're a Panthers fan going to the other side, somebody sitting there going like, great, another podcast, just praising Connor McDavid. Look, the Panthers have a shot. Okay. Anything can happen in game 7. Okay. Game 7, we can put your mom out there and we might be in with a shot. Okay. Game 7s are crazy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. Everybody's going to be skating as hard as they can. Everybody's going to be hitting as hard as they can. Here's what the Panthers need to do. They need to be smart, but physical.
Yeah.
They cannot take
turning the puck
penalties.
over, man. Too much.
They cannot take dumb penalties.
Yeah.
They cannot turn the puck over. It's killing them. It's absolutely killing them. You start looking at one of the big changes the Oilers have, power play goals. Once those guys get going on the power play, that feeds into the rest of their game. It gives them confidence to score goals, gives them confidence to skate, gives them confidence to do their thing. You got to stay out of the penalty box, but you got to set the tone physically. You got to come out and you got to hit McDavid in the mouth. You got to do what you got to do to get in this guy's head. You got to get him off of his game. It's an uphill battle for sure for the Panthers. I mean, all the momentum. I know there's analysts out there that say momentum isn't real, which I'm like, what? Why are we even arguing about this? Like, momentum is clearly real. You can feel it. You can see it. But all the momentum is on the other side. So
for sure, man. Like, and it doesn't even help that they're at home, the Panthers, because the last few game 7s in Stanley Cup Finals history, like the road team has won. So it doesn't even matter that they're at home.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to go to overtime. And it's going to be decided by
overtime.
I think it's going to be.
That's the hope. The hope here is please don't get blown out. Like, please don't lose
both sides
that. Yeah. Like give us a good game at least. Like give us a good game. But Connor McDavid, he just went full. Every once in a while, you see those guys in the playoffs that just like the Mamba, like just doing it in the playoffs. Michael,
Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy, you knew.
Yeah.
Playoffs come around, you want no part of this dude. You want no part. We thought Luka for a second, and then he kind of gassed out. But hey, which by the way, we called that. We wanted the Mavericks to win. We were both rooting for them.
We both picked them at first.
But we had talked about prior to that a few podcasts ago, like, dude, this guy needs to take like him and John Doncic. I know he's won. Jokic has won, but like they gotta take their shape like a little bit more. Like you gotta be ready. For him to look, you kind of knew they were in trouble. They won the series, but the series before they actually lost, which grats to the Celtics, by the way. We never said that. Grats to the Celtics.
Yeah, number 18.
Historic. Still behind the Lakers, which is what matters.
No,
but
they're not.
They're not. Are they tied now?
No, they're above. They're ahead of them now.
No.
17-17. Yeah.
No, Big Z. This is terrible news. I thought the Lakers had 18.
No, bro.
Are you sure? I know you're sure. That's the worst part. 100%. I know you're sure. Dang it. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Sell the team. Okay. Let's rebuild and have another dynasty.
Yeah, seriously.
Take another 5. But we talked about it. Like, these guys, you got to take this seriously. And you knew when he was like keeling over and he looked at Irving, he's like, man, I'm tired. And Irving's like, dude, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Right.
You know? And Irving obviously didn't have a good series either, but
he didn't. I just think, I feel like we got robbed of an actual NBA finals. The fact that the Timberwolves couldn't beat the Mavs. I think the Timberwolves had their worst stretch of the season in that series against the Mavs. And it just, just bad timing. I don't know if the Timberwolves would have necessarily beat the Celtics, but the Timberwolves have so much better of an overall roster than the Mavericks have.
Yeah.
And because those role players did not have a good series against the Mavericks. But I think if they were able to overcome that and they're able to play the Celtics, they would have matched up so much better against the Celtics because the Celtics have a very good overall roster. And so I think that we were robbed of an actual and good NBA finals. I think it would have gone 6 or 7 easily if the Timberwolves had been in there. But congrats to the Celtics. Like they took advantage of the circumstances that they were dealt all NBA playoffs long. You know, it was
Right.
like, again, they had like a bye to the NBA finals. They were just playing teams injured. And then in the NBA finals itself, Luka just goes on a spree against the refs and just arguing all the time, doesn't get back on defense. He decides to stop playing defense overall, and except for game four. And then Kyrie was just, this Boston Celtics fans are just in his head the whole
Right.
season.
Yeah.
And
He
you
just,
you
yeah.
could tell, man, like he just was not there. And they just don't have anyone else to propel. They don't have a third superstar. They don't have a guy
Yeah.
to kind of take the reins if that happens. And so it was an easy win for the Celtics. It was unfortunate, and as a Laker fan, but the Celtics, I mean, congrats to them, man. Like
I
Jason
mean,
Tatum did his thing, Jalen Brown did his thing, Porzingis, you could tell that Porzingis's the acquisition of him in the offseason was huge for them. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess they won without him, but like in that series, the only game he missed, they lost. They got blown out by 40 points. And so he just
right.
adds another element. And then Derek White, I think, is one of the unsung heroes on that team.
He did a great
So
series.
good defensively, and he hits those threes, those corner threes, clutch, man.
Yeah.
And I think they have a decision on their hands. Like, are they going to pay all their guys? Or are they going to pay Derek White? Because you got Brown and Tatum both at $300+ million contracts. Porzingis is not cheap. And then you have Derek White coming up, becoming a free agent. Like, do you keep the team together and like you keep going for this? Or when a lot of owners, when they win, like they kind of get cheap, right? The Nuggets did it. They let Bruce Brown go. You know, again, not a superstar, but a
Right.
glue guy, right? And so Drew Holiday's there. Like, you're going to pay him. They have a decision on their hands, man. Like, do they want to keep it going? I say they should, because like we just haven't seen a dynasty in the NBA for like the last 7 years. You know, it's always been another champion. So it's
Right.
gonna be
Well,
interesting.
The Warriors are probably the last, right? I mean, they won like
Yes.
they rattled off a couple, but yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, dude. You look at this Jalen Brown thing and this Tatum thing. I'm you know what? Let me just say, like, I hope this doesn't create a rift between them. The fact that they finally won one, and then Brown is the season, like the series MVP. Hopefully, Tatum, they're just like, hey, you had a better series than me. We're good. You know, it was obvious that Brown really was just incredible on the floor. There was no stopping that guy.
You know what's
I think,
crazy though? Like we all thought that, but like, which, well, I believe it. We all believe it, but
right.
Jason Tatum led the team in points, rebounds, and assists still, which is crazy in this
Ouch.
series.
Ooh.
I still don't understand that, even though like to the naked eye, Brown
Eye
had
test, you're like,
maybe
no
he's just
way.
more efficient, and
Yeah.
like and he was there in the bigger moments, more clutch moments, I
Right.
would say, than Tatum was. He kind of shied away and gave it to Brown in the fourth quarter, which is fine. Like, if you know your role, you know your role. Like, okay, I'll give it to this guy. Like, he's more clutch than me. And
Right.
maybe that's the thing that they finally figured out. Like, they finally
Mm.
unlocked it, right? The equation. Like, you know what? I'll carry this team through the first 3 quarters, but it's all you, man. It's the game is all yours in the fourth quarter. You do what you need to do. And
Yeah.
then you become the facilitator. If you want to give me the ball, fine, but you control it. Maybe that's it. Maybe they figured it out,
100%.
and there it is. Yeah.
Hopefully hopefully for all Celtics fans, they can figure it out. They can pay who they need to pay. I think their big three, obviously, is who they need to take
Right.
care of. Porzingis ain't going to be cheap. You're going to have to give him his flowers. Hopefully, you get a little bit of a discount because his injury history.
He is. Yeah.
But again, it was a good series, and I think sometimes you do got to be lucky. I think sometimes things go your way, and I think the entire playoffs have went the Celtics' way. They were so
100%.
fresh. I don't believe that they were that much of a better team than the Mavericks, like through and through. I still don't, but they were so much more fresh. I
Yeah.
mean, they were never pushed. They were never
Right.
beaten. They were never, they were mostly healthy. Porzingis was their one guy. So sometimes the chips just roll your way, and this year it
Exactly.
rolled the Celtics' way, and it wasn't a great NBA final, which is a bummer because I think the rest of the playoffs were fantastic.
Right.
Well, from the West, East was like, meh, but
From West, yeah.
the West side was sick. I mean, the West playoffs were just a battle, a war, and it showed. The Mavericks
It
got
got
there.
you in
and
a
went,
basket. It got you watching, man.
yeah,
Like, just saying
100%.
something. It's saying
100%.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
I have been like, dude, there's no defense. They're not even playing basketball anymore. Like that
whining.
pisses me off. Yeah,
These
there's
guys
a
are
foul.
babies.
There's a
Yeah.
foul every time, and the refs were like slowing the whistle a little bit. Like, hey,
They
he
do
might have
that.
touched you a little bit,
Yeah.
but he swatted you up top.
It's
Yeah, but it's
basketball.
but it's
Yeah.
the same thing I tell people about hockey. When I'm telling new fans, I'm like, listen, you don't necessarily need to watch hockey the entire season. It's a longer season. Watch the playoffs, and you will become a hockey fan. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
true every time. So, anywho's, Big Z, this has been fun. I'm glad we got to do a podcast. I'm glad we got to get one out.
Yeah, man.
Because we have not been able to make it happen.
Yeah. You know, like Father's Day last week, and again, You're at the field all the
Oh
time. We got
gosh,
potty training going on over here. It's just life. But hey, we've made a concerted effort to put something out
we did
at
it.
least once a day. We're doing it. You see our faces still. We're good. We're getting better at the
Yep.
Instagram. We're doing what we need to do.
Yep.
But there's a lot of support, a lot of likes, a lot of subscriptions coming in. So we appreciate you guys just continuing to follow us. But yeah, we hope you guys have a great week.
Have a great whenever this comes out. We love you. Stay with us. We will do our best to get back into our normal routine. Hopefully we can meet on our normal days. We will be back. That is our
Got
promise
it.
to you.
We got it.
We will not abandon you. Okay.
Never.
Brevity Sports. We love you.